We are back live. How many times do you have to be lied to by global corporations, by governments, before you start realizing that they don't have your best interest at heart? If the people that control our nation, the military-industrial complex that Dwight D. Eisenhower warned us about in his farewell address in 1961, if the people that run the military-industrial complex don't care about 1 million-plus dead Iraqis in the last decade, close to a decade of occupation, if they don't care about their lives and the media can sell you that that's okay, or if our media can ignore the fact that China arrests Falun Gong peaceful people and holds them and butchers them for their organs, do you think the elite running our society care about you? No. The CIA that's hijacked this nation openly chooses dictators and authoritarian systems of governments worldwide every time they have a choice. Every time they have a chance to choose what type of government they want to put in place, they want an oppressive dictatorship because they represent the big multinational corporations that want to exploit people and are cold-blooded. And then the poor liberals come in and vote for bigger government, thinking that big government will counter the corrupt, out-of-control megacorporations. And they don't understand. The big megacorporations love big government. They just buy off the politicians and use big government to extract your middle class or working class wealth and transfer it to them. We've got to shatter the left-right paradigm and realize the true paradigm is big government versus freedom. Command and control tyranny versus liberty. And no matter how the intentions start out, no matter how good people that want big government's reasons for it are, no matter how loving their intentions are, it always ends up going bad. It ends up destroying and enslaving the population and destroying freedom. Because anytime you create a big system that can, quote, give people anything they want, it can also take anything that it wants. And in history, it does do that over and over again. And it's happening again today in our society. So you have a population that's so self-centered and has been caught that it's some type of attribute to not care about their fellow humans and to not be involved and to only want to individually get ahead. But when you have that attitude, then no one cares about anybody around them. And that's vice versa. So society begins to accelerate its degeneration. And so as people become more and more cutthroat, fewer people are willing to trust others. Fewer people are willing to go into business together. Fewer people are willing to get involved for a cause because then they believe that nobody else cares, so why should they stand up for the right thing? Why shouldn't they just be corrupt? And then society becomes toxic and stagnant, and the floor falls out from beneath us, and we get a Nazi Germany. We get a Stalinist Russia. We get a Maoist China. We get a Mexico. Look at what's happened in Mexico in the last decade. It is completely fallen apart. There are thousands of murders every month now. There is bedlam and carnage and death in the streets. Immigrants from Latin America coming into Mexico trying to get to the United States are grabbed by the Los Zetas and Mexican military and others and taken and extorted and robbed and raped. And in many cases, they are murdered. But do you hear the U.S. media talking about this? No. You hear them demonizing the Minutemen who've never killed anybody. Whether you love the Minutemen or hate them, the point is they're not extorting the immigrants. They're not murdering them en masse. They're not killing them. So why is our big corporate media covering this up? Because they are helping to launder the money that these Mexican gangs and Mexican police and others are involved in. The big mega banks are part of this mafia. All of these ill-gotten gains get fed into their system. And so we have a choice to make. Either we get involved, we decide humanity's worth saving, and we start standing up against corruption, and we start supporting people that are telling the truth and that are trying to rally humanity to have some faith in our species and to start trying to clean up our society, or you just give in to pure evil. You just give in to corruption and just basically prepare to live in a nightmarish society. But the choice is up to you. We're going to come back, get into a bunch of news, and then I'm going to continue breaking all this information down. I've got a lot of other points that I want to go over today. I'll just be honest with listeners. I've got a pretty successful filmmaker who's making a movie, and they want to use clips of the show in the movie that's on the television. And so I'm shooting some of that live today that'll be in the movie.